I've got something delicious going on up in here today, and the thing that I love about this dish, Instant Pot, and so we're not having to spend a lot of time actively making this. There's so many things that you can do while it's cooking and not have to worry about it burning. When it's done, it just shuts down and stays warm, and so here we go. Plus it's absolutely delicious. So you're gonna start with your Instant Pot on saute, and you're gonna put in about a tablespoon of, I like to use olive oil. You wanna make sure that you're using quality olive oil, because if you're not, then it's actually doing no good for your body. That is why I prefer to buy palmetto olive oil. You can order it online, and you can use my code, which I'll put in the description below. You can save a little bit of money on your first order. I am using the garlic. I just happen to love the flavor. They've got so many to choose from. That's what I love. You can do you. I'm gonna give that a minute to get some heat up in there. And while this is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and season my beef stew. And I bought it already cut up. I have two sources for meat. One of them is Providence Farm, which is in Anderson, South Carolina, and the other one is Upstate Beef, which is in cow pens. And I have been to both of the farms. I actually see how the cows are treated and know that I am getting quality beef that is 100% grass-fed with just a little bit of supplementation. There's no grain, there's no corn, and so I know it is doing something good for my body. So I'm just gonna go ahead and season my beef real quick, just put some salt and pepper on there. Give that a little toss, throw it in. I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions. And I cut up a half of an onion because it was a pretty good size. If it's a smaller onion, you might wanna go ahead and use the whole thing. Go ahead and give that a stir so it doesn't stick on the bottom. Give that a moment to do its thing, because I do want it to kind of get a little bit crusty and golden brown. I'm preparing the garlic, and I'm actually taking the skin off. You don't have to do that. This is my favorite. This is from Pampered Chef. It has been the best garlic press ever, and I have gotten other ones from places like Williams-Sonoma. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit more seasoning. I think it could use a little bit more pepper. A little bit more salt. Sea salt, of course, that is the only one in my kitchen. I have an article on my website if you would like to read about the difference between table salt and sea salt or Celtic. It's a game changer, and I love this one, the Redmond real salt, and I also like the Celtic salt that's gray, but you wanna make sure that you see these minerals in there. Big difference. Okay, this is just about ready, and so I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic. You don't wanna cook your garlic down too much because you want max flavor. So I'm just gonna stuff as many as I can in here. Got some coming out the top. I'm just gonna throw all that in, and don't leave any man left behind. Give that a toss. I'm gonna add a little bit of traditional balsamic vinegar. I just think it gives a really nice flavor. And for those of you that don't like balsamic, you don't taste it in that way. It really cooks out, but adds the nice flavor. I would say between 2 tablespoons and 1/4 a cup. And now we're gonna add our potatoes. You can use whatever kind of potato you like. I decided to do little white potatoes, and I cut them kind of bite size. And then the carrots, I cut them about 1 inch. And then if they were on the bigger end, I would cut them in half and sometimes in 4th, depending on the size. I love carrots, the more the better. So now I'm gonna add more salt and pepper. I'm going to add some thyme. We could all use a little bit more thyme. If I were to guess, that's about 1.5 teaspoons. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of mustard. You can add hot mustard. I don't have any hot mustard, so I'm just doing classic. Just a little bit, like, you know, I don't know, tablespoon. And then some shakes of Worcestershire. And then you can use chicken broth, you can use beef broth, you can use vegetable broth. I don't have beef broth. I have chicken broth, and I have tested this and it's absolutely delicious. And all of this just helps to really tenderize that meat and add a little bit more flavor. So I'm gonna add about 2 cups of the chicken broth. I'm gonna give this a stir. I have some fire roasted diced tomatoes, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of that for some extra flavor. About 1/4 of the can. That's it. Okay, so now we're gonna put on our lid. Make sure you turn your knob to seal. We're gonna do manual. Mine says pressure cook, and you're going to do it for 30 minutes. But after the 30 minutes, then you're gonna let it actually power down for another 20. So you're just gonna do nothing and just let it power down. And then after that additional 20 minutes, we're gonna let the air out, and then it'll be time to eat. So while your dinner is cooking, here's a few fun ideas of some things that you can do to pass the time. Okay, the time has come. We're gonna let the pressure out. Now it's safe to open. My gosh, that smells so amazing. This meat is gonna just melt in your mouth. It's so delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and dish it up and get to eating dinner because I am hungry. I wanna thank you so much for watching. If you would remember to like, subscribe if you haven't for more, and if you hit that bell, you'll be notified whenever I put out new content. Have you had beef stew in the Instant Pot? I've only done it a few times because usually I do it on top of the stove or I do it in the oven, a lot of times in the crock pot, but this is my new favorite. How about you? If you like your beef stew thick with a little bit of that gravy-like texture, then you can add a little bit of tapioca starch while it's still hot, and that'll thicken it up nicely. Sprinkle just a little in, give it a little stir. It really doesn't matter to me, it has so much flavor, but some of them, you know, you do you.